That's all I got to say. 5-0. 5-0. Another win today. Streak continues. God damn it. Took this long on ES right here. Let's go over it, and then we can go over 2 NASDAQ trades that I did take today. I actually was recording this video. I didn't even realize. I forgot to plug in my mic. But anyways. Today's theory was long, was up, was higher. At first, I was a little bit uncertain because of the following hourly gap. Overnight, we made a gap up, which kind of led me to believe that we're going to continue going higher. We did see a pretty strong retrace back down into these 4-hour candles right here, into this 4-hour gap. So that kind of was like, maybe we could see continuations bearish. So at first, my idea was the following. If we were going to respect this hourly gap, as you can see right here, we are going to continue lower, likely target this low over here, but I would have needed to see us trade out of this gap, retrace, and then continue seeing bearish continuations, seeing bearish intention. We didn't have that. We had a lot of bullish confirmations today, which is really good. The trade was honestly picture perfect W formation. Nothing much else to say about it. What ends up happening is the following. We trade up into this hourly. So let's bring this over here so you guys can see. We trade up into this hourly. Out of it, we retrace into a 5-minute gap. Go into the 1-minute time frame. What am I thinking right now? Okay, in my mind, I'm thinking the following. This so you guys can understand, my theory. We have a lot of trend line liquidity right here. We have this London high, and then we have this high of day. If we were going to be bearish and react off of this hourly, we would need to see this 1-minute gap hold and continue lower. So I was ready to take either direction. I was ready to continue lower like this and take this type of trade down into these lows and then these lows maybe. Or I was ready to take the trade that I did end up taking towards the highs. I did make a mistake today, and I'll explain in a second what happened. But today was a super obvious day for, structure. Clearly we had intentions higher. We had very clear targets higher. So therefore, we made the moves higher. Let me just delete this for a second so you guys can see. So what happens is, obviously, we saw us push up, classic retrace. We actually retraced into the halfway point perfectly of this range. I kind of have an eye for it. I don't always use it. And then I saw the most beautiful perfect entry of all time. We have a 1-minute BPR. If we were to inverse this 1-minute BPR, meaning that the failed BPR, my bullish bias is 100,000% confirmed. What do? We flip it on this candle right here. I enter on that candle, and then we just see absolute pump up. The mistake I made, which cost me a lot of money, is I took one here because I took one contract off here, at this London high, instead of leaving it at my break even. Why? Because I thought of this, because of this choppy delivery right here, I thought that there was a possibility of us retracing and then maybe potentially taking me out. So instead of going break even, I did end up taking 2 contracts, I ended up taking 3 contracts there. I took 6 micros on ES. I could have gone heavy on this trade. I went half risk because we did make a pretty large move overnight, and our delivery wasn't the best of the best, and our targets also weren't the best of the best. That's why I kind of went half risk, and I should have, in retrospect, put my stops at this low instead of the low that I did. However, I felt like if we were going to continue down into these lows, we were probably just going to continue ripping lower anyway, so that's why I put it there. So, take profit 1 gets hit there. I'm break even. What am I thinking? Okay, cool. High of day is my final target. You could potentially target these, but it's a bit of a stretch. It's a bit of a stretch in that regard. I don't need more than a 1 to 2. I'm happy with that. I don't need us to continue so much higher than this. I might start, continue pushing these trades, maybe leave a runner or 2, see how far up we can go. My mistake, however, is, and this is really funny, I trailed, once I saw this big retrace, and the thing is, I saw NASDAQ take this low, I trailed my stops to, I swear to you, right here. This is my trail. And I got taken out. I remember saying it's like, okay, I'm going to get taken out and this is going to go higher. I know for a fact. And it's really annoying because it's exactly what happened when I should have just taken profit one. I should have taken profit 1 here, and then I should have taken profit 2 up here. Would have been a fucking huge day. In such an easy and obvious trade too. That's the worst part ever. And the reason why I did that, and it's so stupid, is because I wanted to secure a winning day of $150 for my Lucid trading accounts. It's just so frustrating to see this. But you know what? I'm going to focus on the positive. I'm going to focus on the fact that I took a good trade. and I took a really solid trade and that we're winning our trades. Now, going into my live account, I did not take any profits anywhere, meaning that we fucking cooked. Absolutely cooked. $79 on the account. We are up to, let me take a look at this here. We're up to $332. So let me put this up a little bit more. Triple the account in a week. So that's awesome. I'm gonna, unfortunately right now we're dealing with like bigger numbers. So I have to kind of get used to the losses. Oh, hold on. It's almost focusing. Okay, hold on. Because don't forget that on this account, okay, what is going on? Don't forget that on this account, there we go. So you can see $332. We made $72.49 today. Exact same trade on ES that I took on my fundeds. But don't forget that every loss that we take is a big hit. It's a bigger hit than all the wins that we have. So that's why I need to be, extra careful with the live account, especially with the trades that I take. On the live account, I just went break even here. This is what I should have done in the first place, to be honest. I went break even here and then I let this just run. That's exactly what I should have done. I don't know why I didn't do that. I'm not going to do that anymore. I'm going to try my best not to do that because I continue catching these large moves and just not capitalizing as much as I should. I mean, for God's sake, I could have had an insanely good day right here. I could have just taken the same long that I did, extended it all the way up to this point right here, and it would have been a huge day, maybe a $1,500 day. Per account, 3K day would have been really big. Again, this isn't about how big my days are. It's about taking as good trades as possible. My risks are going to make sense with the amount of drawdown that I have. That's always going to be the case. So I'm not looking at the dollar value yet. Once I make, more money, then I'll look at the dollar value. But for now, I'm focused on taking good trades only. Honest to God, we see a perfect, like I said, perfect W pattern right here. Couldn't have asked for anything better. This is just like beautiful. We push down, we push up, we push down, and then we close up. Literally perfect, picture perfect pattern right here. Picture perfect structure. I should have full ported this long. I'm obviously not going to full port the long, but it's an absolutely beautiful trade. Basically it for the day. Other than that, I saw these two good trades on NQ. So let's go to NQ real quick here so I can show you guys. On NQ, I saw the following. On NQ, you could have taken the same trade as well. I ended up taking it on ES just because we didn't really retrace back into the 5 minute as strongly as we did on ES. So I didn't think NQ was going to, make as big a moves. And also, I probably would have gotten stopped at a break even just based on, entries and such. So I'm thankful that I did take it on ES. However, I did see this long right here on NQ. Overnight, we saw strong bullish intentions. Break even would have been the middle of this gap, probably the beginning of this gap, not the middle of the gap, but we could have taken profit one like either here for like a 1-to-1 or like here for like a 1-to-1.5. Either one is fine. Would have been a break even trade and likely to be like, exited early because we saw a perfect short entry, which I'll explain in a second. But then again, also exact same thing. Push down, push up, push down, push up, close above. We get a perfect, beautiful trade. Nothing much else to say about that. And then the short, because this is a 4-hour gap right here. As you can see, I'll show you guys so you can believe me. This is a 4-hour gap that we did have right here. So once we saw those once we saw that bearish intention in this move, which honestly was an A++++ setup of this M right here, there's really nothing much else for you to say. Honestly, like you just take the trade here, your stops are at this internal high, and then you can take profit. Like take profit one, I would have put like right here for 1-to-2, by the way. You could have even taken profit one here. I probably would, just because it's an overnight trade, I would have tried to extend it as much as possible. God, you could have extended it like all the way down into here. Obviously, in hindsight, like why would you do that? Because like you would have had to hold through all of this overnight. However, and I probably would have gotten trailed out, to be honest. But it's a fantastic trade, beautiful 10 out of 10 trade. Again, I'm on the works of making the video for this strategy because honestly, it's just like insanely good, and I think it's the only way to trade, and that's the only way I'm going to trade. And I want to coin this term because I don't see anybody else trading like this. Therefore, I will call it, the M&W pattern, the M&W trading strategy. So I'll make a video about that. But yeah, longer video today. Obviously, really good. 5-0. We'll make it 6-0 tomorrow. 7-0, 6-7. and we'll keep it going. All right, I'll catch you guys on tomorrow's trade. Peace out.